Increased US-Soviet tensions. The USA demonstrated their fight against communism through the Truman Doctrine and the Marshall Plan. President Truman made a speech to Congress calling for the US to assist forces in Greece and Turkey fighting against communism. This set the precedent that the USA would help any nation resisting communism and became known as the Truman Doctrine. The USA also feared that European countries that faced poverty as a result of World War II would turn to communism, so in 1948 devised a plan to offer $13 billion in economic aid. Although this aid was offered to the USSR satellite states, the Soviets refused to accept it. In response, Stalin formed Cominform and Comecon, as he wanted to limit US influence in Europe. The Communist Information Bureau was formed in 1947 and organized all communist parties in Europe under the USSR's control. And the Council for Mutual Economic Assistance was formed in 1949 and offered economic aid and coordinated production and trade in Soviet satellite states to support their economic development. This divided Europe into two economic spheres of influence. Yugoslavia played a unique role in this period of rising tensions. Led by Marshal Tito, Yugoslavia was a communist state but refused to submit to Soviet control. Tito rejected Cominform in 1948, becoming the first communist leader to openly defy Stalin. This breakaway angered Stalin, and Yugoslavia was expelled from the Cominform. Despite this, Tito maintained his communist policies while pursuing an independent path, including receiving economic aid from the West. Yugoslavia's defiance highlighted cracks in the unity of the communist bloc and showed that not all communist countries were willing to follow Soviet directives. Tito's successes in balancing relations both in the East and the West further exposed the limitations of the Soviet control and contributed to the complexity of Cold War politics. This growing divide between USA and USSR, with countries like Yugoslavia navigating their own paths, marked the intensification of Cold War tensions across Europe.